What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Let me know if you hear me in the chat. It's been a minute, guys. It's been a long minute, a long off season for me. As you can see, I moved, have a whole new setup. I'm in a whole new state of mind. Had a lot of time to kind of just sit back and watch all the commotion and all the gripes and complaints of the Yankee fans on this team. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of them too this offseason. But now spring training is officially here. Pitchers and catchers reported, what was it, yesterday? They reported, seems like the whole team is down there right now. And baseball's back, baby. We here, man. The offseason was quick. It went by quick. And at the same time, it felt like forever. But going into this 2026 season, I mean, the Yankees, look, we're going to get into a lot of stuff, right? You can see the topics I got there on the side. The big news today is Cam Schlittler, and we'll get into that. But the Yankees got a lot of question marks behind this team right now. Yes, this is a good team. Are they running it back? In my opinion, they pretty much running it back, with the exception of maybe like 3 or 4 players on the roster. It is exactly running it back, in my opinion. That's been the hot debate. I'm telling you, man, when the season ended, and before we get into these topics, when the season ended, I told you guys they're running it back, dude. They're running it back. And when you could say, well, it's a different team than it was at the beginning of last season. When you say running it back, I mean the roster they had in October when they got eliminated by the Blue Jays is pretty much the same as this one. But it's nonetheless, like, it's still a good team. In my opinion, a lot has to go right. A lot has to go right for this team to really like dominate in the AL East. With that being said, though, the big news today is Cam Schlittler. Turns out he's dealing with a back inflammation, and I don't know why 2 of Cam Schlittler's just popped up there. I got to work on that. But yeah, so, and he has some lat issues. Look, the Yankees, they're kind of downplaying it right now. But whenever you have a back issue, you always got to take it serious. This is not, like, a knock on wood, right? I hope I'm wrong, but I think there's more to this than we think, unfortunately, right? Look, Cam Schlittler is so important to this rotation right now, especially with Rodon being out for the beginning of the season. Garrett Cole, he's not going to be there at the beginning of the season, supposedly, even though, and that's the next topic, we'll get into that, even though Boone says some things. I think this Cam Schlittler thing needs to be taken a little more serious. I remember when Luis Severino, right? Luis Severino, when he started having all these injury issues, it started off like that. Whenever a pitcher has a lat issue and back inflammation, that's not good. Those back problems, they linger. They linger. Cam Tweedy, he's good. He's a young guy. He's gonna, look, you got to take it seriously. If it's me personally, I'd rather sit him right now, let him heal up, than take a risk. Cam Schlittler is coming off an amazing second half of the year last year. Obviously, he was a godsend for the Yankees when Clark Schmidt went down and Cam Schlittler stepped up. It was big time, right? And we all know that he's a dog. So sometimes you got to protect the player from himself. Me personally, and I'm gonna get into this next, right? When Boone had a press conference yesterday, and he said that, don't be surprised. I'm paraphrasing here. Don't be surprised if you see Garrett Cole pitching some innings in some games in spring training. And that blew me away because I was like, what? Why? Right? Immediately, my radars went off, right? My antennas went off. Let me turn this off here. Because I was like, why? Why would you rush Garrett Cole? And that's our next topic. So let me switch this here. Why would you rush him back like that. Unless somebody else is hurt that we don't know about. I have to fix this. You see the two Garrett Coles pop up there, so I'll work on that later. Hey Louis G, hold on, let me get to this real quick. Louis, the filters on the face and all that, that's not working right now because I gotta fix that stuff. Hold on. Let me see if this is working. All right, it's not working as good as I wanted it to, but yeah, it's not working right now. But anyway, yeah. So when they talking about Garrett Cole coming back a little earlier, I was like, what? I mean, it makes no sense. What's the point? What's the point of doing that? You know, but hey, if this Cam Schlittler thing is more serious than we thought, and hopefully it's not, right? Hopefully it's something that that he can just overcome, man. You know, maybe a couple days off or something. I don't think this is something that just came up, right? That's the thing with spring training. A lot of these guys, and the Yankees knew this beforehand. A lot of these guys that come into spring training injured, it's happening all around the league. You see what's happening with the Mets. You see, it's just so many guys. Jackson Holiday. Just so many guys. This on day one of spring training, we find out they hurt. It didn't. In my opinion, this is something that the front offices, they knew this stuff, right? So they're probably thinking, okay, hey, look, we might have to put Cam Schlittler on ice for a little bit, and the rotation is already the rotation to start off the year is already gonna be a little shaky, right? We don't know what we're gonna get with a guy like with Ryan Weathers or somebody like that. So until Rodon and Garrett Cole officially back, the guys like Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, these are the guys we're gonna look to these guys to give us quality starts. So yeah, this thing is to me it's a pretty big deal, in my opinion. I know a lot of people and they're gonna downplay it, and Cam Schlittler tweeted that he's okay, and I get it, but yeah. Jacob says, let me get to these. I don't know why my nothing's working as it's supposed to. As you can see, I can't even see the avatars here. But anyway, Jacob says, Jason, I get your point, but Cole knows his body more than anyone. If he's 100%, then he's 100%. It doesn't matter, Jacob. When you're coming off of he's too important. He is too important to bring him back too early. You go with the timeline. You know, whatever the timeline was, I think you got to stick to that. In my opinion, he's too crucial. He literally, the Yankees' success. I mean, I'm not gonna say it falls on Garrett Cole. Let me turn this off because I don't know what's happening here. I'm not gonna say if it falls on Garrett Cole, right? But him coming back, the Yankees are banking on him coming back. You know, when you hear the whole running back and everything. Look, if you put Garrett Cole on last year's team, do they win it all? I don't know, right? Who knows, right? That's just kind of a lot of hindsight is 2020, right? Like they say, but you definitely get more than 94 wins with Garrett Cole in your roster. So the Yankees are banking on him, and I wouldn't rush him. In my opinion, you don't rush him. Rafael Montero to the Yankees. Let's see. If that's the case, I'm gonna look it up in a second. But yeah, man, Garrett Cole's too important. You can't I wouldn't rush him. No, I wouldn't even think about it, man. You let him rehab when he's supposed to rehab, and that's about it. He's been throwing bullpens for quite a while, but yeah, I'd leave him. I'd leave him right where he's at. But yeah, so the Yankees got a lot of. And before we even get to that, my apologies, guys. I'm rusty. As you can see, I haven't been on this for a while. I created this whole new UI and it's not working like it's supposed to right now. So that's pretty frustrating. But it's all good because the show must go on. Yeah. Jose says, "Yo, my brother, good to see you back. Nice transition with your new backdrop. I appreciate it, man. I'm still working on it. It's a lot of stuff we're gonna be doing." All right. Yep. Yankees bring in Rafael. Okay. And I appreciate Jason from 161 River Ave just text me what Talking Yanks just put out. Yankees bring in right-handed pitcher Rafael Montero on a minor league deal. Montero had 2.37 ERA, 71 games during the Astros 2022 World Series season. I mean, look, that's good depth, right? That's depth. That's another thing. Right now we need it. Look, you can never have enough pitching. I don't care what. Look, going into spring training, as soon as they reported yesterday, I was just waiting for bad news, unfortunately, because that's just the nature of the beast, right? Especially for pitchers, that's the nature of the beast. I mean, it's almost impossible to to go into spring training 100% and then finish the season 100%. That's why pitching depth is so crucial. So I get all these signings here. Obviously, it's not the big sexy names everybody wanted in the offseason. It's not the Imai Tatsuya, whatever his name is. It's not the Dylan Ceases. It's not none of that, but it's arms. It's quality arms that can give you innings, right? And that's what you need during the course of 162, man. Sometimes you need inning eaters. And look, that's why a guy like Will Warren is so valuable. I'm not the biggest Will Warren fan. You guys who've been watching me for a while, you know that, right? But there's one thing I can say, that he's gonna eat innings, right? He's gonna give you a ton of innings throughout a season. Some of them not the best. I'm not gonna lie, right? But he's gonna give you, for 9 out of 10 times, he's gonna give you a quality start, a decent start, and he's gonna give you some innings. So it's a big deal right there. You know, guy like Max Fried pitched a lot last year. Even a guy like Max Fried this year, personally, I'd limit his innings a little bit. I think towards the end of the season, guys like Fried and Rodon, they kind of ran out of gas there. Rodon, as we find out after the season's over, that he was playing through an injury. So me personally, I'd try to limit the innings a little bit. And in order to do that too, you got to win games, right? The Yankees got to win games. They got to put themselves in a comfortable spot in the division where they can afford to, to give Max Fried that extra day off or skip a start if he needs it, or one of these guys, got to win. Got to win games. Let me get into the chat, and then we'll get into some of this or that, and we'll talk about the shortstop stuff and some other stuff there. Give me a second here. It's a chat. Jacob says it. All right. The picture quality is very clear. I appreciate it, man. That's because I don't have the filter stuff that was going on. I'm trying to get everything working again. I literally just set everything up again. I just moved to Arizona, so I'm in a whole different state, different setup, different everything. Jose G says, nice transition. Yeah, let me tell you, matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up. I'm still keeping receipts. So if you got predictions, let me see them now. Oh, I messed up right there. That's the wrong one. All right. Take that off. All right. Jack Geezy was good, my brother. Says Jason was good, man. Good luck to the Yankees 2026. I appreciate it, man. I know Jack Geezy's he's a Dodgers fan. The Dodgers had a phenomenal offseason, as usual. It's gonna be interesting, man. Next year is there's definitely gonna be a lockout next year. So just prepare for that. All right. JK says, my personal opinion, they're running the same team back pretty much. I don't think they're going to be better than last year, but we'll see. No, and look, I agree with you. I'm one of the people that say, I feel like, to me, obviously it's not 100%. It's not a true 1-for-1 run it back, right? Come on, it's pretty obvious, right? But it's basically running it back, like 95% of the same team or whatever. But this team, look, even running it back, right? And maybe this is just me being gullible, being naive because the spring training just started and wanting to be hopeful, trying to be optimistic. But even last year's team, were they good enough? No, but they were a good team. Not good enough, but they were good. And this year's team, I believe they can be good, but in order to really, really be better than teams like Blue Jays, especially if the Blue Jays play like they did last year. If the Blue Jays are hitting like they hit last year, with the additions they made to their pitching, yeah, granted they don't have Bo Bichette anymore, but Akamoto or whatever the Japanese guy's name is, let's see what he can do, right? I think the Yankees, a lot needs to go right for the Yankees, right? A lot needs to go right for them. And that's why, to me, the Yankees have a lot of question marks. Does it mean they're a bad team? No, it doesn't mean that. Oh, did they sign any big, sexy names? Outside of Cody Bellinger, who was already on our team, so I don't even know if we count him. No, no. So Jacob says Dylan Cease is overrated. Yeah, he's overrated, but he makes them a better team. Like you cannot deny that they're better with Dylan Cease. That's the whole thing. They got better. They were already good, and they got better. So I think that the Yankees could be really good this year, but a lot of things have to go right. Like last year, a lot of things went wrong and a lot of things went right too. We need, I think, like what, and look, now I'm gonna be a little negative Nancy, right? What if we don't get, let me go into this real quick. What if we don't get the same production we got from Trent Grisham last year, right? Man, I gotta fix that. That's annoying me now. I see both of Trent Grishams pop up. You know what I mean? What if he reverts back to the old Trent Grisham? I think that's a big deal. That's a big deal. When you take out 30-something, what he had last year, 37 home runs out of a lineup, that's huge. How do you make up for that? You know what I mean? Where do you make up for that? Maybe, somebody else in there, maybe Ben Rice can give you more offensive production. Hopefully, that's why I say guys like Austin Wells, right? I have my eye on Austin Wells. I expect a lot from him this season. I really do. I need him to have a decent season. We need that offensive production, especially in the bottom of the lineup. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. We will see. Jose says 162 and hopefully the Yankees win games. They shouldn't. Yeah. Look, the thing is the Yankees, they got to look, guys. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't want to sugarcoat things. This team, they running it back basically, right? Are they better than last year? To me, they're not. I see Jacob says, they won 94 games without Garrett Cole. And that's, you're right. But my thing is this. I don't count Garrett Cole until Garrett goes back. Until he's back, I don't count him. And I don't, who knows? Look, the ace that he is, and as great as Garrett Cole is, as great as he is, he's what, 30 something, 38, 37? Or something like he's in his he's in the bad half of his 30s, right? And he's coming off of Tommy John surgery. So to expect him to come out and be lights out and give us even 15 wins, I mean, can he do it? Of course, he's Garrett Cole. He's a Hall of Famer. But man, he's human too. Like that's a lot to ask for. What if he comes back and he doesn't give you that? Where do you get it from? Where do you get that production? Hopefully the Yankees catch lightning in a bottle with the guy like Ryan Weathers, right? Hopefully he stays healthy and he's, can give us something, right? Same thing with all these bullpen arms. That's why I said like the Yankees got a lot of question. They don't have a lot of sure things, and that bothers me, right? There's no sure. The only sure, I mean, there's a couple sure things, right? That we know what we're getting. We know what we're getting with Aaron Judge. We know the young guys on this team. They really need to take a step forward. They need to make up, right? Make up for the lack of offense, especially if Trent Grisham isn't hitting like he was last year. So, got a lot of things, man. A lot of question marks this season. But with all that being said, I'm excited that the season's spring training, but I'm excited that baseball season is finally here. And I am optimistic about this team, right? Look, if the Yankees, let's say the Yankees can, maybe we're not in first place, but we're right there. Come All-Star break. Let's say the Yankees are, a few games behind or something, but we're right there. Who knows, man? The trade deadline could be the Yankees could go out there and be like, you know what? This team is good enough. We're right there. Let's go out and go all out this trade deadline. And I know that's hoping for the best, and hope is not a plan, right? But you never know, guys, right? Especially with baseball, man. Every team is about an injury away from really being out of it. As good as the Dodgers are, the Dodgers are probably the exception because they got so many All-Stars. But even them, man, they're an injury or two away from really struggling. But the Yankees got a legitimate shot, right? They got a legitimate shot. Me personally, I'm going to be honest with you. If I had to put my money right now, as I see it, I don't think they're a first place team in the East. I think that the Blue Jays are going to be better than them, right? But I think we're close. We're a close second. We're right there. So let's hope that some of these guys, man, they come out and impress us, right? Hopefully some of these guys, man, they take the next step forward, especially a guy like Anthony Volpe. Right? Who's obviously missing the start of the season. When you see a guy like Jose Caballero, I don't know what's wrong with this thing, man. It keeps pulling up. When you see a guy like Jose Caballero, right? I wish I could pull up his numbers here. Let me try to pull it up here. Jose Caballero, his numbers are not that much greater than Anthony Volpe's. In all honesty, when you put them side by side, which is what I was trying to do right here, when you put Jose Caballero and Anthony Volpe side by side, the numbers are not that much different. So I think personally, though, Jose Caballero, he has things that I think he has things he brings to the table that I don't see with Volpe, right? But we're gonna see. We're gonna get a full season of Caballero, right? As much as a lot of us don't like Volpe, we might end up feeling the same about this guy. I'm hoping not, though. I'm hoping that he can play very well. Let's say he plays outstanding April, May. He starts the season hot. The Yankees, what do the Yankees do at that point? If Caballero is batting 270, right, in May or something like that with freaking 20 stolen bases, as like we know he can do, and an on-base percentage of 3-something, how do you sit a guy like that, right? How do you give Volpe back his job in that case? So I think the shortstop position, the shortstop role, the shortstop job is up to Caballero. He can really take this. He has an opportunity here that not many people get. He has the opportunity that Derek Jeter got in 1996 when Tony Fernandez got hurt. Caballero got that same opportunity right now. Obviously, circumstances is different, and I'm not comparing the two by any means at all. But this is how you get your shot. Somebody goes down, right? Somebody gets hurt, and this is how you can come in and really take somebody's job. And I hate to say it like that, but hey, that's really what it is, you know. Um, and let's say Caballero, let's say he comes out and he starts hot and he's killing it. He's killing it the first 2 months. And the Yankees don't put him as the starting shortstop, and Volpe comes back and they just slide Volpe right back in that, then man, it's worse than I thought, right? If that happens. If that happens, I don't know what to say. Let me get back to this chat real quick. And I appreciate y'all joining me, man. Look, it's only 6 y'all in here, but it's all good. I'm going to get back to the streaming and going every day. I just got to I'm a little rusty right now. And as you can see, I've been working on this stuff, man. I've been working on this stuff heavy. We're going to make this thing better. Let me put this real quick. Willie Caballero. Yeah, but when you look at his numbers 2025, even though he had like half the at-bats that Anthony Volpe had, only 5 home runs. Obviously, the stolen bases are crazy. 49 stolen bases. His on-base percentage, that's what I like right there. His on-base percentage is 339. That's how you get 49 stolen bases when you're as fast as he is. Because Anthony Volpe's fast as hell, but Anthony Volpe got legs. He just doesn't get on base. You know, it makes no sense. What's the point? If you don't get on base, you can't steal bases. I'm pulling up Anthony Volpe. I'm just trying to see his on-base percentage. Yeah, his on-base percentage is 272. So, granted, 19 home runs, but don't sleep on Caballero got pop. He got some power, sneaky power, low-key. Don't sleep on him. Jose says, how's Roxy doing? Roxy's doing great, man. She's over there somewhere. Hold on, let me pick this up real quick. My legs, man. Getting too tired. All right. More like close fourth. Louis G says more like a close fourth. Nah, man. We better than that. I could be wrong, though. The thing is, look, a lot got to go right for the Yankees. A lot got to go right. And the Yankees, look, I think they banking on. They didn't make no big moves like that or anything crazy, especially going into a lockout season. I kind of knew that was going to happen. I already knew that was going to happen. So, but let me go ahead and put in this. Let's play a game right now. How many we got? 7 in here. That's all right. We'll do that. All right. Who's your shortstop? Type 1 or 2 in the chat. And Volpe got a vote. I wasn't expecting that. 1 or 2 in the chat. Jose said. Caballero is your shortstop. Who's most likely to live up to their contract? Trent Grisham or Cody Bellinger? Remember Cody, especially next year, because Cody's getting like 40 something million next year, something crazy. I gotta go with Cody. Oh shit. Yeah. Hopefully Trent Grisham though, man. Look, I don't expect him to hit 37 bombs. But I mean, hopefully he could give us 20, you know, a little more average, and I'll be happy. Especially if they're gonna lead him off, you know, if he can have an on base percentage above 320, I'd be ecstatic. All right, what we got else? All right, who has more blown saves in 2026? Devin Williams or David Bednar? They still got Devin with a Yankee jersey on. Who's gonna blow more saves, Devin Williams or David Bednar? Type 1 or 2 in the chat. I'm gonna go with Low Lev Dev. Low Lev Dev. Damn, Louis G, bro, you hating. He picked David Bednar. I think this is the last one too. All right, the winner. Oh, all right, that's all I got. That's all I got for you guys. Yeah, man, let's get into the chat. What you guys think, man? Are you guys? I'm curious to see. I know I've been away for a minute, so I'm curious to see how y'all feel about the Yankees off season. How do you feel about the Yankees coming up this season? I mean, and if you're a fan of another team, how do you feel about your team, whatever your team is, the Mets? How do you feel about the Mets? I know Francisco Lindor has a hamate injury or whatever it is, the bone in your hand, the same one that Andrew Benintendi broke after we traded for him a few years ago. How do you feel, man? Me personally, and look, maybe it's just I'm a little, maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm too much of a fan, right? I'm optimistic right now. I do see a world, right, where this could go terribly wrong, where 2026 could go real bad, really bad. You know, the topic today was questions going into spring training, right? And the Yankees have a lot of them. And one of the questions I was gonna put in there until I saw a video of Aaron Judge throwing, like taking he was taking ground balls in the outfield and throwing it all the way to home. So hopefully his arm issues are no more, right? Hopefully that's gone and dealt with. Obviously he's going to the WBC, which is going to be crazy. You know, the baseball fan in me is super excited for the WBC, right? Especially with Judge there. The Yankees got quite a few players who's going to be there. But the Yankee fan in me is like, no, especially with Judge, man. We cannot afford that guy to get hurt at all. So hopefully pitchers, you hear me? Hopefully he stays safe out there and gets ready, you know? Gets ready for the 2026 season. Because I'm trying to win this year, guys. And I know I say this every year, but to me, it's championship or bust. Last year was a failure. You could say whatever you want, and I get it. You know, technically, I guess being tied for first with 94 wins is a good thing. In hindsight, when you look at it, when it's all said and done, and you look at it, if you just look at the win column, right? If you just look at the wins column, the Yankees and Blue Jays tied at 94 wins, you would think, oh, that's great. They equally matched, right? Each team is as good as the other. But that's just not the case, man. For those of you that watch this team every day, like I do, every pitch, you know that we were outmatched by the Blue Jays. They were by far better than us, man. They were just a lot better than us. And that worries me. That worries me. But I do think that these guys, man, on this roster, I think that they can, if they live up to their names, right? Live up to their baseball cards, then this team can beat anybody, right? They can beat anybody, but that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick. Man, I got to work on this. On my UI, it's not looking good right now. Winning what? One of your 3D toys? What are you talking about? Nah, brother. You definitely ain't winning none. Yankees shouldn't have signed Belly and wrote. Luigi says Yankees shouldn't have signed Belly and wrote it out with the prospects, especially with the lockout. You know, that's interesting. That's an interesting comment there. There's a part of me that feels the same way. I'll be honest with you, but there's another part of me that's like, look, we without him though, without him, man, whew, we already have a lot of question marks. But without him, man, it could get real ugly. And write it out with who? You know, look, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Even though I feel like the Yankees aren't going all out as they should, they're not getting they're not really knocking it out the park when it comes to acquisitions, especially in the offseason or even the trade deadline. Man, you got Aaron Judge going into what, his 34th year, right? He's going to be what, 34, 35 or 36 here? I don't know. Him and Cole, you can't have two of the best players at their position, right? One of the best pitchers ever and one of the great, arguably probably top 5 hitters of all time ever, and not win nothing, dude. That's just not acceptable, in my opinion. That is not acceptable. You can't have a $300 million payroll for 10 years in a row, 15 years in a row, whatever it is, a $300 million payroll, and not be able to get over the hump. So, granted, Cody Bellinger is he doesn't move the needle where we need it. And he's just, essentially is what we had last year. But this team without Cody Bellinger is scary looking. Even last year, look, let me tell you something. And I was a big hater, a big naysayer on the trade for Cody Bellinger. I didn't like it, but I was wrong, right? Is he worth whatever he got? The money that he got? Look, that's the market. Maybe not. Look, but he's valuable to this team. He really is valuable to this team. There's so many games that he saved for us last year. He arguably saved the season for us when the Yankees could not do anything right and we were just getting smashed by everybody. That Subway Series versus the Mets, where we were getting embarrassed, coming off a bad stretch, getting smashed by Toronto, by Cincinnati, by all these teams. He made one of the best plays I've seen in a long time, right? In left field to kind of save this team. So is he worth the money? Probably not, but he's valuable to the team. And that was what you were going to have to pay. I don't like the way that the contract is structured, though. I'll say that, right? With the Cody Bellinger thing, where he's getting a shit ton of money next year and the year after that, and then he could just opt out. So he could literally play 2 years here and get almost $100 million and opt out and get himself another big contract. And that's okay, right? Because if he does opt out, if Cody Bellinger plays well enough to opt out, that's a good thing for the Yankees. That means that he played very well and he lived up to his contract, right? Yeah, so it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let me see who's else. Derpy says, I be real, baseball is kind of dead sport because the fact there's no cap and it probably being the Yankees and Dodgers again. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. The Yankees, there's a few teams that spend a lot of money, but money doesn't mean anything. It's a big factor, right? The Dodgers are different. They're on a whole nother playing field. They're spending over $450 million or something like that, right? But the Yankees consistently have a $300 million payroll, and we've only been to one World Series in 15 years. So the Mets consistently blow past that final luxury tax threshold, and they haven't made it anywhere pretty much. Last year they had a good run, but that's about it. So, with baseball is one of those sports that, money is a big thing. If your team has a lot of money, that's good. But, man, it's not everything either. Baseball's funny like that. It's 162 games. Jack says the 3P is gonna be sweet. Hold on, Jack. All right, I locked that in. The 3P is gonna be sweet. I got your receipt right here, Jack. We're gonna come back to this in a couple months. In a couple months, man. Like 6 months, we're gonna come back and we're gonna see if your prediction came true. So that's your receipt right there. I'm keeping receipts this year. I'm keeping a lot of receipts. Oh, what am I doing? All right. Yeah, Jose says Yankees spend money like crazy. Hell yeah. Sean, what's up, Sean? It's my battle buddy right there. Chilling, man. Chilling. The whole AL East upgraded but us. Yeah. Hey, we won 94 games last year and we have a better bench and bullpen. We need to execute. You know, Sean, I'm optimistic and I hear what you're saying. Yeah, the Yankees have a good team. Like, I'm not gonna say that we don't have a good team. I'm not gonna be one of those fans that be like, oh, we're gonna be in last. I'd be shocked if we were in last place. Like, so much has to go wrong. Even fourth place, so much has to go wrong for this team to end up in fourth place. But can it happen? Yeah, because I do see a lot of question marks, right? A lot of players on this team that I'm not sure what we're getting from them. You know, there's no sure things, in my opinion. Mets choke last year. We winning the division of bust. Yeah, but you guys have got a whole new team pretty much. But it's different with the Mets. See, here's the thing with the Mets, man. You guys had to do it. There's no excuse for not making the playoffs. Honestly, I feel like the manager should have been Mendy should have got fired. Mendoza should have got fired. But it is what it is. But the guys, they overhauled their whole roster. So we'll see. The Mets are going to be interesting, man, because they're doing a lot of crazy stuff, moving Soto to left field, Polanco at first base, and just a lot of weird stuff they're going to do. So we're going to see if David Stearns really, this is the first time that he's really doing his thing, you know? He's got his team put together, right? Brandon Nimmo and all these guys, those weren't his guys. Even Lindor, man. Lindor is there because of the contract. But even Lindor, I think David Stearns could care less about Lindor. He didn't bring him in. He didn't sign Lindor. If he could move him, he'd probably do it too. So I think the Mets are gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay. Sean says we will have a special season. I hope so, man. But we say the same thing every year. I'm gonna be honest. I think that the Yankees are good enough to contend in the AL East. And really, I don't think we're. And I'm just being realistic. And I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I don't think we're gonna win the AL East if the team stands the way they are right now, right? I don't think we win the AL East, but I think that we can be there neck and neck with Toronto, right? And come All-Star break, trade deadline time, I think the Yankees can make a move. Excuse me, we can make a move, or maybe somebody comes up like last year, like a Cam Schlitter. Somebody comes up like a, like a Elmer Rodriguez or somebody, right? Somebody comes up, one of these young guys come up and they just, give this roster just a jolt of energy and push us over the edge. No, that's what I'm hoping for. The Yankees have a good team. I think we're going to contend. We're going to contend. Do we have enough? I don't know. I don't think so, in my opinion. But that's the good thing, right? There's a long season, 162 games, guys. There's going to be a lot of people on the trade market, right? A lot of people. A lot of good guys, good people, right? Are the Yankees going to be willing to spend like that? We'll see. We will see. Boston is pretty good. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about them. And Baltimore, too. Look, AL East is the toughest division, hands down. But I think we're better than them. I do. I think we're better than them. Nando says F Boston College. That's a good college, man. They got a great baseball program, too. These Yankees are not living up to their standard. that is expected of the Yankees. They will get one before this decade is out. Man, I don't know, man. That's the one thing that the biggest thing that bothers me with the Yankees. Look, I don't expect the Yankees to go and sign every free agent or go crazy like the Dodgers do or anything like that, right? I understand that it's a business and I understand that we got a lot of dead money on the books too and stuff like that. And to sign a player, you have to release a player or move a player or do something to make room for him on the 40 man. So I get all that. But my whole thing is, man, that the clock is ticking, man. That window of greatness of Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole and stuff, it's closing and it's closing fast. And come next year, like I hope we have baseball next year, and I think we will, but I think we're gonna miss a lot of baseball next year too. That lockout is coming. It is coming, right? And it's gonna be an ugly one. It's gonna be an ugly one. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they can come up with an agreement between the players association and the owners, but I don't see it happening. I really don't. To me, I feel like they're so far from each other, right? That it's gonna be interesting. Nando says Yankees could have a good rotation with Fried and Scooby. Just give up the prospects. Yeah, but the thing with Scooby, man, is that he's a 1-year rental, right? So look, he's not off the table either. Because the Tigers, man, come trade deadline, I don't know, unless they're gonna try to re-sign him or anything. It doesn't look like it to me. But unless the Tigers are like really, really making a push and they have a serious, legitimate shot, I don't see them see why wouldn't they trade him at some point. The Mariners are sneaky good too. The Mariners, don't sleep on the Mariners, man. The Mariners are like the Blue Jays. They got a taste for it last year, and they're going all out too. They're going all out. So it's not that, look, the AL, everybody keeps saying like, oh, especially last year, everybody's like, oh, the American League is trash. The NL is eating, and it turned out that it was the other way around. The American League, I think, is better than the National League. I'm dying, man. Yanks are going to be good. Donnie, what's up, brother? Brother man from another land. Donnie says the Yanks are going to be good. Man, we're good every year. The question is, are we good enough? In my opinion, I think they could be, but I think we need something else. Right? This can't be it, right? This can't be it. And through the course of 162 games, a lot happens, right? You see how we started last year, right? A lot of those guys, man, it felt like like a guy like Stroman or Cookie Carrasco and stuff like that. So the team we go rolling in with this spring training, the team that rolls in on opening day I'm almost 100% sure it's not going to be the same roster come game 162, right? So you never know, right? You never know. Castellanos and pinstripes. I don't know. Where you hearing that? Donnie says deeper bench. I mean, how is it deeper, really? So you know what worries me, right, guys? Especially with the Paul Goldschmidt stuff, bringing him back. What worries me, I'm not against them bringing back Paul Goldschmidt. What bothers me is that I don't think that they can resist playing him over Ben Rice. Aaron Boone is one of those guys that he gives a lot of credence to the veterans, and the veterans hold a lot of weight in his decision making when he makes the lineups and stuff. And he's just gonna want to put in whenever it's a left-handed pitcher. I can almost guarantee you you're gonna see Paul Goldschmidt. And I don't think that should be the case. I think that he should let Ben Rice. I think Ben Rice earned that to have an official starting role, not platoon first base, but the starting first baseman. Until otherwise, right? Unless he comes out and he just sucks and he's not doing great, he can't hit lefties, or his defense is terrible, then yeah, right? You start platooning. But starting off, I think Ben Rice is the everyday first baseman, regardless if it's a lefty or a righty, right? Let him figure it out. And if he can't, then you go ahead and you start platooning him. I don't think they're going to do that, though, man. I think it's going to be a split, I really think they're going to do that. Whenever it's a right-handed pitcher, that's Ben Rice is your first baseman. Whenever it's a left-handed pitcher, it's going to be Paul Goldschmidt. And it's going to be 28 different lineups. Just every day something different. Is the same old stuff. The same old stuff. Luigi asks, how many games do you see winning? As we stand right now, I think the Yankees win 90 games. I think we win 90 games right now. And that could change, man. That could change. And that's because I'm not even counting Garrett Cole. I'm not even counting him. It could all change. We'll see. I don't see them winning 94 games, and I'll tell you why. Because they didn't make enough improvements. Right? I get it. They had 94 wins last year, but the whole AL East, the teams that they're going to face the most, all of them got better. All of them got better, and the Yankees didn't. We got maybe a little bit better, maybe, But I don't think. How do you make up all those wins, right? You got to think that with Baltimore getting much better than they were last year, with Boston getting much better, even though Boston and Toronto was spanking us anyway, with Baltimore getting as better, right? Let's say we give up, we lose 2 more games to them. Now we're down to 92 wins. And let's say we lose 1 more to Boston. Now we're down to 91. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I see it. That's how I do the math when I count how many wins. I see the teams that we're playing often got a lot better. So 94 wins, we're going to lose some of those. Goldie with Mentor Rice. No, and that's cool. And that should be his primary role. I got to believe it I'll believe it when I see it. I'm telling you right now, I could see opening day, a left-handed pitcher, and Ben Rice is on the bench. I could see that happening, bro. That's the thing. 50 and 31 into the break. That yeah, that's freaking crazy good. That's not going to be the case, and the break is never really exactly in the middle of the season. Donnie says also $4 million was cheap for Goldie. I need another right-handed bat. Look, I see why they brung him. I get it. And I get it. He batted what, 330 versus left-handers, right? But in the second half, it wasn't that good. In the second half, he didn't do that good. A lot of that came in the first couple months of the season. He ran out of gas. You got to admit, Goldie, towards the end of the 2025 season, he ran out of gas, bro. There was nothing left in there. He was late on a bunch of fastballs. Yeah, even on defense, man, he lost a step. It seems like he lost a little bit there too. So I don't know. I hope that I hope that Ben Rice gets a lot more playing time than he got last year. I'll say that. Richard Miller says he doesn't like the Blue Jays. They don't belong in the World Series. I mean, they do belong, man. The Blue Jays, they belong, man. They were an out away or 2 outs away from winning the World Series. How can you say they didn't belong in the World Series? Now I think the Mariners are good too. The Mariners deserve to be there too. They just George Springer killed them with that freaking home run. Jose says Yankees need to win most games against teams below them and not sell out. Yeah, man. But the thing with Jose is that that's what we've been doing every other year. Every year for the last 10 years, that's exactly what we've been doing, beating up on the bad teams. But when we face actual good teams, we can't compete with them. You know, we got to beat the good teams. We got to beat the good teams. That's what I think. We got to show, especially early on in the season, we got to show them that we can contend. Dude, it's 2026. It's a different year. Different year. Let me see something here. I don't know if this is gonna work. I gotta. Okay, March 26th versus San Francisco. Okay. All right, so we starting on the Yankees are starting it off immediately on a West Coast trip. You got San Francisco, Seattle, and then we come back for 3 games at Yankee Stadium. All right. That's cool. I'd rather start off on the West Coast. I'd rather get the West Coast trips out the way early, especially those first couple series, because the Yankees are gonna be fresh. You go over there fresh. By the time when those West Coast trips in the middle of the season or towards the end of the season, those are killer, man, because you already beat. You're tired from traveling every single day, pretty much, and then you got to take a long ass trip all the way over there. Yeah. And so I'd rather get those out the way early. So that's good. Let's see. But Kyle Riley had a great year for a catcher. If they win one of those sellout wins below 500 teams, the Yankees would have got the division home field. Yeah, but we can't really. We got to see what they do this year. And you say that, but then at the same time, it's like, I hear what you're saying, but it's like, okay, the Orioles got much better. What if we lose? The Orioles got better this year. What if they beat us one more game than we won against them? So, look, it's a new season. I'm trying not to look at 2025 and compare, even though it's going to be hard when the lineup is literally the same. It's going to be hard, but it's a new season. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. 2026 is a new season. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think you guys should too, if you're a Yankee fan, right? I think you should give him the benefit of the doubt. It's a clean slate. Everybody's starting with a clean slate. We start 0-0, right? 0-0. Now, if it's the same old bullshit like last year, we start getting into June and the Yankees start sucking and it's the June soon again. Then we start crying and we start complaining. We start saying, this is bullshit. You're running it back. It wasn't good enough last year. And then we would do that, right? But as of right now, everybody's tied, right? Everybody's tied. No wins, no losses. And we'll start off new. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But my patience is gonna be very short. The Yankees have a short leash with me. They probably get come 2 weeks, middle of April. The Yankees ain't playing good. I might start crying. Right? You might hear me on here going on rants. The Jays losing Bo Bichette. Yeah, but they were good without him. They beat the Yankees without Bo Bichette. Donnie Clark. Bro, they beat the Yankees without Bo Bichette. Literally. So I'm saying, and they gained players. They gained Akamoto, right? So, no. Amaya says, hi, Jacob's dad. Well, that's my son's friend. And I can't see. I need my glasses. I cannot see anything. But yeah. Jose says 2026. Hopefully, our Yankees stand on business. They better stand on business. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. We will see. Donnie says Cease will be good for the. Yeah, man. The thing is, I know a lot of people say I do think the Blue Jays they overpaid for Dylan Cease. Right. There's no doubt about that. They overpaid for him. But still, he makes the team better. Whether they overpaid for him or not, you gotta admit that they got a little more dangerous, right? A little bit better. They got a little better with them. So we'll see. And if you just joining, guys, I already went through all my topics, but Cam Schlittler, obviously, the news today, he's dealing with some back inflammation. He has a lat issue. He tweeted out saying that he's good. He's all good. The Yankees, they didn't really make it. They didn't make it seem like they were too concerned about it. I'm definitely concerned about it because we cannot afford to have him miss games in the beginning of the season. We just can't. You know, he's a vital part to the Yankees season, especially those first couple months. Vital until Rodon and Garrett Cole come back. Donnie Clark, but I still think the Yanks will be good. Hold on. I'm about to go get my son. Okay. This is my son, guys. Look, he's almost my height. This dude. Now you gotta stand here and watch. Close the door. Close the door. That's my son, guys. Where's Roxy? Oh. Yeah, man. Look, it threw me off. Jose says, "Oh, this is your receipt. Yankees win 100 games and win the division behind Boston." All right, man. I booked it. Yankees win 100 games and win the division. And win the division behind Boston and the Jays. That's crazy. 100 games, bro. I don't know. I don't know. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh my God. It's my dog. Too much distractions today, yo. I can't even stream. Y'all killing me. Come here, man. So Roxy. Let me see Roxy. Let me see Roxy. This is my baby right here. She's the star of the show. Say hi, Roxy. Say hi. Hi, Roxy. Where's Jose? No, Jose G, this dude. Oh. He always, last time he gave me money, he gave me a super chat. He said that's for Roxy. That's my son. Look, you got to tell my son he don't want to play baseball no more. But he's really good. Look, he's leaving. He's nice. He can hit, but he don't want to play. What do I think about Castellanos? I mean, he's a little older. Oh, but he's a big time man. He's clutch. He is. I just don't see how does he fit on this team? Let me pull him up. Remember, guys, y'all could pull up stats and everything like that too. He batted 272 last. Oh, that's his career stat. Why am I seeing career totals? All right. I gotta work on. I haven't been putting in work on my on this program I made here. What the fuck? All right, he batted 250 last year, 17 home runs. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, and do what with him? Nah. Man, the outfield is crowded right now. Outfield is too crowded. And if you expect a guy like Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones to ever get a chance, to ever have a chance, then he can't add to it. I'll pass on him personally. Yeah, Rafael Montero. You're right. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. My man, Cruise Control. Rafael Montero tonight for the bullpen. Like it, 1.8 million. Yes, he signed to a minor league deal, so don't expect him to make the. I mean, he might make the team to start off. He might make it. The dude, he has some success with the Astros. Who knows, right? The Yankees are just adding depth. They just add in depth. A lot of these guys might not even make the roster out of spring training. So, I mean, it ain't moving the needle much. But it's a good signing, though. It's a good signing because if he can, find some of that magic that he had with the Astros a couple years ago when he was pretty good with them. I think he pitched in the World Series too. If he can find some of that magic, then yeah, If not, then hey, you took a chance. It's not a lot of money. You can easily let him go. Hey, Jonathan, I'm talking about Montero right now. Let me see. Yankees Cam Schlittler back inflammation. Okay. Yeah. Spencer and the Martian. He said, bench right-handed bat. I mean, yeah, but we got too much people right now. It'd be a good. I mean, we got a bench right-handed bat. We got Amer Rosario, right? So let me, I'm gonna put up the Yankees roster. I think we need to see this roster. We got too much people right now. There's not a lot of spots, guys. Remember, it's a 26-man roster. 26-man roster. So, yeah. Look down there. I mean, we could use, I guess, another right-handed. Who said Max Schumann? Donnie. Let me see if I can put it here. Yeah, we don't have a lot of right-handed bats here. What do you think about Jason Dominguez? You think he starts the year in AAA? I think him playing every day makes sense, but I don't want to see that, man. I'd rather see him get his at bats up here. They could find a way to get him at bats. Get him at bats. Get him right-handed at bats. And if he doesn't improve, if he doesn't improve from last year, then okay. But I think he deserves another shot, right? Volpe obviously is not gonna be on the 26-man starting off. Yeah. I think your right-handed bat off the bench is Paul Goldschmidt, Amer Rosario. Jonathan says Dominguez will be in AAA unless there's an injury. I mean, that's what it's looking like, but I hope not. I hope they give him another chance. I think there's still a lot of potential in there. I don't want to see him just rot another year in AAA. I mean, not rot really, because he's still very young. Not like Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones is already what, 25, 26. He's already getting to that point where he needs to do something. He needs to make it. Starting lineup, right-handed Caballero. Yeah, the lineup. I want to see. Man, I'm hoping. Look, let's get into this. Right, I want the people that I have my eyes on the most this season, where I'm looking to really impress me the most, is Austin Wells and Caballero. I really want Caballero. I want Caballero to make it really tough for the Yankees when Volpe comes back, right? And to do that, he has to play really well. He has to play really, really, really well. I don't know if you guys ever watch boxing, right? You know, boxing, when you're facing the champ, right? When you're holding the title, you know, when you're facing the champ, it says you can't just make it like go to the, you got to clearly beat this guy, knock him out, or clearly be better than him. And it's like that for this shortstop job, right? Volpe is, for lack of better terms, right? He's the champ in this case. Caballero is the contender. He has to really outperform for the Yankees to, especially with the way the Yankees love Volpe. He's got to really ball out those first couple months for them to be like, he got to make it so good that they have to play him, you know? Because if he's mediocre, or if he's giving you the same production that Volpe gives you, that's not good enough. When Volpe comes back, he'll slide right into the starting role, and he's the starting shortstop again. And hopefully, he comes back and he has a breakout season, right? Who knows, right? But if Caballero can, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. If he could go out there, this is his Derek Jeter opportunity. That's what I'm calling it. This is his Tony Fernandez is hurt. We're going to give you a shot opportunity. Anthony Volpe is hurt. He has an opportunity here to really make a mark, right? We'll see. We'll see if he can do it. I hope so. So I'm looking at him. I'm looking at freaking Austin Wells. We need Austin Wells to be a little bit better, man. We just do. We need him to be better. Who else? Will Warren. I'd like to see Will Warren. Just kind of. I'd like to see him do better against good teams, right? And by good teams, I mean like the real good teams. You know, I'd like to see him not have those. He had quite a few freaking 1-inning games where he couldn't figure it out and just getting rocked. I don't want to see that anymore. Angel Chivil. There's another guy who has upside, but man, look, a lot of these guys the Yankees got, this is what I'm saying, like the Yankees are trying to catch lightning in a bottle, and look, it's happened before, right? It's happened before, but it's a lot of question marks. There's no sure thing. There's not one guy that the Yankees picked up this season that I'm like, yep, we know what we getting from him. That dude's going to come through. And we know it, you know? There is nobody like that. There is nobody. You know, all these guys, it's like, okay, they have a lot of upside, a lot of potential. Potential is just potential. Potential is like unrealized gains, right? Potential is good, but if you never reach it, it doesn't mean anything at all. So let's hope and hope. I don't like that though. I don't like that word. I don't like, because I feel like every year that's the game plan. Let's hope, right? Let's hope that this guy, you know, can be better. We got lucky a lot of times, even with like a guy like Fernando Cruz, right? The production we got from him last year came out of nowhere. And then the year before that, we got lucky with Luke Weaver. So every year there's a guy that comes out and really does his thing. So this year I'm looking for Caballero. I'm looking for for him to come out and really just. I'm looking for him to really wow us, so the Yankee fans could fall in love with him, right? Where the front office has no choice but to play him. But he got to play good, because if he comes out there playing like ass, then hey, you know. Austin Wells, same thing. Camilo Doval, I'm looking for him to really, towards the end of last season, especially in the playoffs, he looked good. Like, I seen glimpses of him where he was really good, and I'm like, yo, this dude is nasty. When he can throw strikes, he's nasty. So I'm hoping that he figures that out. That's another guy that I think is key for the Yankees, man. We need this bullpen to come back. And then a guy like Jake Bird, I know a lot of people forgot about him, but I'm hoping that he wasn't just a wasted trade. I'm hoping that he can actually give us something out the bullpen, So, yep. Yankees shouldn't rush Cole. I agree, Jonathan. But you know what? And I was saying this earlier. I'll switch to that real quick. Hold on. That I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so when Boone said that Garrett Cole might actually pitch in games in spring training, at first I was like, oh really? That's great. And then I was like, wait a minute, don't rush him. Why are they rushing him? Why are the Yankees rushing him? I get it. He said he feels great and he might be moving, but why? What's the point? And then I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute, something might be going on. And that's where this whole Cam Schlittler stuff came out. I think the Yankees already knew. I think that's why they're like, oh man, this guy might miss some time, or they're preparing for something like that. Because if Cam Schlittler goes down, knock on wood, if he goes down, yeah, that's not good. That is not good for this rotation to start off the season. So, I don't know. A lot of people looking for Kopech, lefty reliever, a trade for lefty. Yeah. I'd rather have Romero. Kopech, that dude just throws fastballs, bro. He throws fastballs and he barely got control of it. I don't know, but he does have high upside. He does have high upside and, like I said, potential, but I want a sure thing. I want a sure thing. I don't want a project. Let's get a sure thing. Like, okay, this is what we're getting. We know what we're getting from this guy. Who that is, I don't know. Mainly contract player, Seth Brown. Yeah. Jonathan says he doesn't know what the big problem is with Grisham's contract. Is only 1 year. Yeah, the big problem with me is that when they did that, first of all, it's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. You got to admit that. And once they did that, they kind of, it kind of really sealed Jason Dominguez's fate. It really did. And this is why, and now I'm going to go off topic, right? Because this is what gets me upset with the Yankees. This is what gets me upset with them. They're like, even last year at the trade deadline, I was calling for them to trade Devin Williams because I knew there was no way they're going to sign him again. There was no way he was coming back. He wasn't coming back to the Yankees. I already knew that. So why they should have just traded him? We already lost Caleb Durbin, right? Who's on the Red Sox now. Forgot to bring that up. The dude's on the Red Sox. So we already had given up one of our top prospects for this dude, and it didn't pan out, and we knew he wasn't going to be back, and he had a lot of bad attitude. So why just... So I'm saying, why wouldn't they just trade him and get something for him? They could have got something for him, and they didn't. Same thing with a lot of, man, I don't know. I feel like the Yankees sometimes they're not aggressive enough, and they don't like taking any risk. They don't like taking any risks, and you got to admit, whether you like Cashman or not, he's made some good moves, but a lot of moves, man, we've missed out on a lot of moves. a lot of trades that we missed out. That it's like, man, why didn't we pull the trigger on that? You know. So, but we'll see. Again, folks, I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm gonna be streaming a lot more. The smoke ain't working, man. I gotta figure that out. For some reason, it's not working, so I had to turn that off. I gotta yeah, I'm gonna be streaming a lot more now that the season's starting. Now that I actually moved into a new place, I got everything situated. Got my whole setup set up. Everything's somewhat back to normal. Somewhat back to normal. So Jonathan says Yankees sometimes wait for the perfect trade instead of the best trade. Yeah. Jonathan says, how often when the season starts, I'm gonna be going on pretty much every after every game. You know how I do. I'm gonna try to be going on in the mornings because now I have a lot more time. I'm gonna try to probably do the mornings. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This channel, I don't want it to just be about Yankees. Right? I'm trying to do more right now. It's mainly Yankees because that's really what the focus is. But I want to talk about more things. You know. Jay Savage says just subbed up, bro. Look with your content. I appreciate it, man. Jay Savage. Damn, I gotta fix this shit, man. I can't even see the profile pictures. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Look, I'm gonna keep it a whole 100 right now. I'm gonna keep it a whole 100. The Yankees, man. Yankee fans, look, I love you guys, man. I love my people, man. But we are so just, I don't know, man. We sheeple. The Yankee fans, man, they be toying with us. We're just sheep. You know how many Yankee fans I've seen just switch up? I've seen people just saying, "Oh, being upset and we want this, get this, and all this." During the offseason, this whole offseason, I just sat back. I just sat back and watched, right? All these YouTubes and all these people and everybody saying this and that, and you're gonna get this, and especially in the offseason, I don't like getting into the rooms because a lot of it is just freaking bullshit, man. You know, and it's funny how the Yankees come out and they say, as soon as they're like, well, we're not running it back. It's funny how when Cashman came out and was like, I challenge anybody who says this is the same roster, we're not running it back. But in the same freaking interview when Cody Bellinger gave his thing, he said, I'm happy to run it back. And it's like they give you mixed signals, right? Boone even said he's mentioned the running it back is pretty much the same. I think that a lot of that, man, that whole thing, and then you see a lot of these beat writers, sort of saying, oh, they're not running it back. And you see a lot of these YouTubers, they're not running it back. Man, to me, that's all propaganda, man. I felt like they got to a point where they're looking at ticket sales and they're like, man, the fan base is not excited about this team because they feel like it's the same team as last year. And they had to, and look, and this is all conspiracy because I don't have any proof that this actually goes on. But I feel like they had like a propaganda machine working. They called up Michael Kay. They called up Jack Curry. Brian Cashman. They probably have some YouTubers in their back pocket too. And they're like, yo, push the narrative that this is not the better team. This is not the same team. This team is better than last year. It's much better and all that. And I watched that whole press run of that. I watched them shove that down our throats. The Yankees, man, whenever they put something out, I don't believe a damn thing they say. I don't believe nothing that comes out of that organization or even a lot of these big time guys. And I used to love Michael Kay, but even him, guys, everything you hear from and out of Yes Network, all this stuff, you got to take it with a grain of salt, man. You got to take it with a grain of salt. And even a lot of Yankee channels. And look, I don't care, man. I might get hate. I'm not hating on them at all. But even a lot of them, especially when you get so big, and I understand because you don't want to lose that relationship with the Yankees. so they kind of just fall in line. But yeah, man. Jose says to have Knicks relevant and playing ball at the Garden again in the playoffs is, yeah, man. That'd be crazy if they get Anakatumbo, whatever his name is. They got to get Giannis, even though they're going to have to give up a lot for him. Jazz 40-40 year with Golo. Man, you know what? I'm glad you brought up Jazz Chisholm because I haven't talked about him enough. 40-40 year, especially on a contract year. I can see my thing with Jazz. If you noticed last year, right? He was gunning for that 30-30 so bad. It got to a point where he was stealing bases he shouldn't have even attempted to steal. Which is not good. He got it, right? But there was sometimes I'm like, dude, you're just doing that you're just trying to pad your numbers, right? And I don't want him fishing for that. I don't want him shooting for 40-40. Because when Jazz is shooting for home runs and he just swings with all his might and hopes he hits it, man, and starts swinging at bad pitches, I need Jazz to just be a good hitter, man. It'll come, right? Don't worry about the home runs. I'd rather see him bat 320 than have 40 home runs, you know? So let's see. I need Jazz to focus on baseball too. Cruz says, "K is a puppet master." I still like K, man, but there's a lot of things he said. You could tell that he is bought and paid for, man. That dude, you know, he would deny it all day. He would deny it all day long. But he would never go too crazy, and I get it. If I had some kind of relationship with the Yankees organization, the Yankees came and say, "Hey, we're gonna sponsor you, right? We want to sponsor you," and they opened the door to me, and I had access to players and access to all these things. Then, yeah, you know, I wouldn't want to mess that up. I wouldn't want to say something that's gonna upset somebody. And you know, I don't want to get a phone call from them saying, "Hey, we didn't like that," you know. So I get it, right? I get it at the same time, but some of these guys are so big that I feel like they don't even have to. Like, it's so big that you could just say, "Be real," you know. Oh. Jay says that Chaz be chilling. Yeah, he does. He be chilling with A Boogie, smoking blunts and shit, man. My man Jazz be high as fuck. He was in the Bad Bunny halftime show too. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, man, Jazz be doing too much partying, way too much partying. Got pictures out there with 50. And that's cool and all, man. That's all good. But I need you to focus, my guy. I need you to play baseball, man. Jose says Jazz not got engaged this year, so hopefully his head is tied on. Yeah, but there's a whole thing about that too, man. He got engaged to supposedly an OnlyFans model and a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I like Jazz, man. He's gonna be good and all that stuff. Do whatever you got to do, man. As long as you're playing well, nobody cares. But when you're not playing well, and you're spotted at the club after a game with A Boogie with the hoodie, you know, and everybody's smoking trees, that's not a good look. Not a good look. I remember a couple years ago, Peter Alonso, right? And this is unrelated. Peter Alonso wasn't playing well. This was like 2 years ago. Peter Alonso was not playing well at all. The Mets were not doing very good. And he was spotted after a game. Was it after a game? He was spotted at a concert. I can't remember who was playing. Yeah, he was spotted at a concert, and oh my God, he got so much backlash for that. And in my mind, I was like, bro, because you're not playing good and everything, like you can't go, like, bro, these people got lives too, you know? It's not like everything is baseball 24/7. They got lives. He probably wanted to take his wife to a concert, or he probably really liked the band and he wanted to see them. You know, some people that's good for them, they take their mind off of base. Sometimes, like when you're not playing well, sometimes more baseball is not the answer. You know, when you're not playing well, sometimes, you know, like say, like if you're not hitting well, that doesn't mean you go into the cage, you know, 6 hours in a row before a game. No, sometimes it's better to take a step back, you know, and take your mind off of it for a little bit. Sometimes, right? That's what you got to do. We've been on this thing, but yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting season, guys. It really is. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna see me. I'm gonna be upset a lot. I already know. Every year, yeah, man. The Yankees, until we win, is not good enough for me. I'm one of those fans. I don't care if we make it to Game 7 of the World Series, you know, and lose by one pitch at the end, like you know, it's not enough for me. I want to win. I want to win. I want my team to win. So, you know, yeah, I'm a crazy Yankee fan. A lot of people, you know, we get a bad rap as Yankee fans, but hey, we just want to win. That's it. We want to win. It's not good enough if we're not winning. But with that being said, man, look, be optimistic though, right? At least for right now. For right now, we're starting off in a clean slate. 0-0, right? 0 wins, 0 losses. So there's nothing to really be upset about, right? All that off-season drama, all that stuff, and whatever. That's, you know, that's behind us now. Now we're looking forward, and then we'll reassess this, though. Don't get me wrong. We'll reassess this team as the season continues, right? At the end of April, we'll look at it, and we'll have a better idea, like, okay, yeah, this team is really lacking in these areas. Or now, or hey, this team, we're looking really good. Whatever it is. As of right now, if you're a fan of you could be a fan of the Colorado Rockies. You're 0-0, so you have a chance. Anyway, y'all, man, I appreciate it. I'm going to try to come on probably tomorrow in the morning or at night, and then we'll do some open panel stuff and all that stuff, man. But I appreciate you guys. I'm going to start working on this so that way it's all fixed by the next time I come stream. Have a blessed evening. Again, let's go Yankees. And be excited. Be excited, baby. 2026 is almost here. Well, it's here, but you know what I mean. The baseball season 2026, almost here. I appreciate you guys, man. Have a blessed one, man. Take care. All the other join me. I appreciate it. For real, for real, for real. And that's it, guys. Peace, y'all.